Abusive people will weaponize their triggers, and I think a statement like this gives them permission to do so. They will tell you something you do triggers them, but the thing that triggers them is your autonomy, because what they want is control. Not texting me back triggers me. Going out with your friends triggers me. And my ex's favorite, when you turn down sex, it triggers me. So based on what you're seeing here, if I choose to turn down sex knowing that it's a trigger for my partner, then I'm being abusive. And I seriously hope we can agree that that is not abuse. That is maintaining your autonomy and your freedom of choice. But to them, it will feel intentional because they communicated that it was a trigger. So by making a claim like this, you're giving abusers the language to weaponize their triggers. They will use a phrase like this to issue guilt trips, manipulation, blame, or punishment when you don't do what they want, and that is abuse. And the reality is we don't get to decide on the validity of someone else's trigger. So how do we avoid abusers weaponizing things like this or any other healthy relationship advice? We promote autonomy, self-validation, and personal agency, and we stop pushing a co-regulation narrative. We're supposed to grow out of co-regulation. Yes, it's okay to seek support from people you love, but if they're not there for any reason, you need to have the skills to self-regulate. And that takes work. It takes facing your fears and unpacking your stories. This is emotional healing work. But it's so important because when we learn to soothe our own triggers, we are able to see people's behavior for the reality of what it is, which is a reflection of who they are, instead of projecting who we think they should be, which often comes from an unhealed external validation seeking place. I'm reminded of something that I heard 10 years ago. If I placate your insecurities, how do you grow? If I tiptoe around your triggers and make them my responsibility to manage, how do you heal? By doing that, I'm enabling the fear that drives those triggers to continue to live inside of you. Our triggers are communications that we're holding on to a belief somewhere that isn't serving us. And that belief might be the very thing that's keeping you in an unhealthy, toxic situation. So the trigger is sent to you to show you that. The trigger isn't sent to you to ask your partner to change so you don't feel it. We need to face the trigger instead of getting angry at the people who touch it.